Okay, this is a response for my concern after watching a YouTuber called Detailed Projects. He's been taking these, I can't even think of it, plastic type panels here. It's supposed to be equivalent to paint, according to him. This one's brand new. So I spent $17 or so on 4 of these, so I just want to make sure I'm not scratching my car. And of course, anytime you touch your car, you're going to scratch your car. There's some YouTubers, complain about tunnel washes, but anytime you touch your car, right? But I just want to make sure I'm doing the least scratching possible. So a lot of people poo-poo waterless wash, but I do like a waterless wash at the end of my regular wash. So if I go through the tunnel wash, I've made up my own waterless wash, okay? If I go to the coin-op touchless, afterwards I use my own waterless wash. You can call this a detail spray, waterless wash, drying aid you can call it, right? So if I do rinseless at home, afterwards, if it's still wet, I come in with my waterless wash, detail spray, drying aid. I just want to make sure this one is not scratching the car, or at least not too much. So this is my newest waterless wash that I'm very happy with. Really makes my darker colored truck pop. It's a granite color Ram. It's almost got a little bit of a brown to it. It's a metallic. Anyway, so this is Uber SiO2, 3 ounces per gallon. And then I poured that 3 ounces per gallon up to about here. And then I added 20 milliliters of Grios 3-in-1 ceramic spray. I don't have the bottle here. So that's giving it a slight green color. So SiO2 is blue. So that's what it is. And you have to shake it because the Grios does, I don't know what, it has some, I think it's carnauba in it that kind of falls out. So this really makes my truck pop at the end. And I feel like, because I already have Grios on my truck, I was using the Turtle Wax ceramic spray, which is better for hard water spots, which is what I have, because I park outside and my sprinklers spray on my vehicles, especially in summer. But Grios is a second runner-up, but it really makes my truck look good. So anyway, that's where I came up with this. So this one I'm going to check. I'll check my rinseless wash later. I want to get it to before the sun goes down. I don't have one of those fancy lights, so I'm going to use the ball of the sun to show any scratches. So here I am the first time pulling this apart. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of tape down the middle so I can test here. That looks pretty good to me. Just going to show you at an angle here. Right there's the sun. You can see it's pretty scratch free, but there is a scratch right around here where my thumb is. It's a left-right horizontal scratch. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and scrub it. So I'm going to take a clean Kirkland, brand new. I'm going to use this short pile side. There's more high-end, I'm going to fold it into thirds. Okay, so it fits my hand a little bit better. And we're going to be looking for scratches in this direction. So I'm going to shake this again. I'm going to use the right-hand side. Open it up. So I saturate it pretty good. On my truck. I was going to use some gloves, but and I also put some on the rag, right? And then I come in afterwards and wipe it dry. Okay, so I'm just going to do one wipe. I don't really need to be extra careful because everything's clean. Okay. Okay, so there's the sun, and we're going to look for any scratches. This is the poor man's scratch light. I can see it. I got my polarized sunglasses on. So you're gonna look for vertical. There's a little bit of extra residue up in the corners. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a scratch in here somewhere. So that's one wipe, and I think we're good. Now I'll go ahead and buff it left and right. I'm just going to go back and forth gently, left and right. All I'm trying to do is get rid of any haze. I'm going to do it twice here. I'm really not putting much pressure. Going to the corners. Okay, left and right. Now, I'll bring you up and we'll take another look. Okay. I've got the sunball here. I can't see if there's any scratches because I'm looking through my camera. But I'll look at it afterwards here if I show you guys. Let me take a look here. Perfect. So using Kirkland, you know, I don't know how far I'm going to go with this test. I just want to make sure my method's working, because detail projects really kind of confuse me. And I'll check it with dirty towels too. We might do that today. But let me do the left with the Meguiar's Waterless. Okay, we'll go to that next. Yeah, if I'm doing waterless, I'm putting a bunch on here. I'm going to treat it like rinseless. I'm going to put on the rag. Again, I'm going to put a bunch. And I'll buff it with a dry one when I'm later. I'll just come in, one wipe. I don't see any scratches. I'm just going to go ahead and do it a couple more times. Let me do it 10 times like that. Okay. Putting some extra pressure on it. That's 2. That's 3.
4. 5. I realize we're not doing apples anymore. 6. 7. 8. And these Kirkland towels, I think they're about 50 cents each. So if the answer is to use a brand new towel every time, it's not a big deal. So this is 9. I'm doing it gently, but with some pressure. Okay. We'll take a look at it.
Okay. Here we go. Let's get the sun in there. There's some overspray over here. And I'm looking through the viewfinder on the iPhone, so I can't really see. All I see is the sun. So there's some smearing here. There's a little scratch there. I don't think that was anything. It's probably there originally. It's not up and it's not vertical. Yeah, there's evidence, a little bit of smearing, corners. So maybe the answer to this whole thing is just to use a brand new Kirkland towel. I think they're like 50 cents each. So maybe 1 or 2 washes afterwards. I don't know. It's just making up stuff right now, and we'll do some more testing. Now I'm going to do some dirt testing on my truck, and we'll come back. Okay, I'm using the same rags. I'll do Meguiar's on the left, and Uber plus Griot's Waterless that I made up on the right. And I fold it into thirds again on the clean side. I'm just going to do the one side. So I'm kind of I don't normally do this on a waterless wash. I'll pre-rinse. So I'm doing this for whatever posterity purposes. So I'll start with the Uber side first. Okay, here we go. Uber and Griot's first.
Again, I use quite a bit. I'm probably gonna wash my truck today out of coin up. So, do that side.
So that's as far as I'm going to go, because I can feel it. Again, I don't recommend waterless wash unless you do a pre-rinse. I use the coin op first, or I do rinseless first, or I go through a touchless car wash. So I don't normally do this, but I needed some dirt. So now we'll test it on those panels. Okay, I'm back in my backyard after wiping my hood on my truck. I'm going to cover the left side. And I'm just going to give some more thoughts on this whole thing, or waterless wash. Like I said, I would only use it after a coin op or a pre-rinse of some kind, or a waterless car wash, or even a regular car wash, through the tunnel wash, I should say. I can tell you from when I was out there doing this on the hood, I can feel the friction. Now, I didn't pre-soak the rags ahead of time, which I should have done. I don't recommend waterless. I'm never going to do waterless again like that. Again, I'm doing this for testing purposes, and this is the last time I do that. So next time, if I do this test again, it'll be after a rinse. So don't do this at home. Don't do a waterless unless you pre-rinse. So anyway, so again, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and do this dirty on here. I don't expect it to be scratch-free. I would never take this and rub it into my paint, okay? So if it turns out that there's no scratches when I use this, great. If it turns out there are some scratches, really it's not going to stop me from using a waterless at the end of my wash and rinse. And especially in my case, because I'm adding some of this protection, which matches the protection on my truck. I really like it. Really makes my car look good. So anyway, let's get on with this. So this is the Uber right side of my hood, right? You wouldn't do this, but let's go ahead. I'm going to really soak this. I'm going to really soak this. I'm going to shake it again. Let me back you up here a little bit. I'm just going to really get this stuff wet. We'll see if there's some kind of magic to it where it can prevent scratches. I'm going to do it the 10 wipe method. I'm going to make it like a rinseless, right? I'm really soaking it. So you can consider this a rinseless at this point with some really strong solution. Okay, we'll do 10 wipes, just like Project Details did. We take it, put it lengthwise, and just go back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm just going to go ahead and do the other side with the wires. Okay. Surprised how thin this stuff is. I thought it would be thicker. It's actually thinner than my homemade waterless wash there. I'm going to soak the heck out of this as if it was
almost like a rinseless. I think is really the only major difference between rinseless and waterless is a dry rag versus a wet rag. Really good and nice and soaked. Everything's nice and wet. All right, let's go ahead. I'll flip it over.
I'll do it 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It really dries out, this rag. 7, 8, or it's just more grabby. 9, 10. All right. Let this dry out. We'll look at this one on the side.
Okay, I ended up doing a left and right, a horizontal wipe to get some of the residue off. So if there's scratches in the horizontal, that's if I'm just drying it off or buffing it off. So let's go with the right hand side first. Still a lot of residue. I'm gonna have to get that off of there. Ooh, I see scratches. Yeah. Right there. Yeah. Yeah, there's scratches all over. Definitely pre-rinse your car. That's my takeaway. Multiple towels and rinse it. So let's go to the Meguiar side. Yeah, scratches all over. Okay. See if I can get the sunball right there. I see a whole bunch. I'm sure I've got a bunch of new ones on the hood of my truck. So that's the last time I do that. I don't know if you can see them here. So they're about equal. Don't wipe your car with a dirty rag. That's all I got out of that. Pre-soak, pre-rinse, multiple towels. Okay, thank you for watching. So I used some turtle wax rubbing compound. It says medium to heavy. Grit, I guess that would be, and it's just for comparison. You can see what that would look like as far as scratches, and it's pretty bad. There we go. So that's what rubbing compound scratches look like. I used to use this for teenagers that would spray paint my service van when I lived in Panorama City decades ago. Kind of a shithole. Came home late one night and I said, how you doing, or something like that to the kid. His partner was out of earshot and he thought I said something derogatory, and he spray painted my van every night for a couple weeks. So rubbing compound was my friend back then. Anyway, thank you for watching.